Hey everybody, the Great Dino Ranger here again, back for another review. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Jurassic World Dominion Roar Strikers Skorpiovenator. Now, this is a very brand new species to the Mattel line, and I'm really excited to take a look at it. So, packaging wise, this is my first Dominion Mattel Roar Strikers figure, so you can see the awesome Dominion packaging all on the front here. And at the top, we have the Jurassic World Dominion logo. On this side, we also have another version of the logo. On the side, we have the Jurassic World Dominion logo again, and an awesome render of the Pyroraptor. And then taking a look at the back here, we just see it shows you if you just push down its back, it makes noise. Shows you the other dinosaurs in the line: Rajasaurus, Triceratops, and Ankylosaurus. Rajasaurus is the one I really want next, whereas the other two I can wait to get, but I still want them. Yeah, that's basically it for the packaging. Let's get this guy out of the package. Alrighty, so here we have Skorpiovenator out of the box, and it looks really cool. First things first, I'm not sure if you guys pronounce it as Skorpiovenator or Skorpiovenator. Whichever way you pronounce it, totally fine. This is the way I pronounce it, which is Skorpiovenator. That's how I kind of grew up saying it. So, yeah, just kind of want to get that out of the way because I know there's kind of a couple ways you can kind of say its name. So, Skorpiovenator is our newest abelisaur, part of the Carnotaurus family. And I'm really loving the look of it. I mean, looking at the body, it's like a classic abelisaur look to it. You know, you got the big head, and you got the thicker, streamlined kind of like body, and you got like the longer legs. It's just like a classic abelisaur silhouette. And let's take a look at the sculpt. Look at that head. It's an awesome, such a classic abelisaur head right there, and it's filled with all this amazing sculpt work and detail. Like, look at all like the pebbles in the skin. It looks so cool. And you got like all these larger spikes above the eye, and then you got some larger ones on like the top of the head that go to the snout. It's really nice detail. And you got some nice work on the jaw right here and underneath. Mattel is doing really good with their detail in their figures, especially with their abelisaurs. And here we can see there's a little bit of sculpt work on the tongue, which is nice, and it's very smooth and glossy, kind of giving it like that wet, drooly saliva look to it. And you got some sculpt work on the top of the mouth, or the roof of the mouth right there. And then the neck has also some more amazing work, and you got all these larger bumps and spikes on its neck. Like, it's such an awesome looking head right there. I don't know what it is about abelisaurs, but they have some really cool looking heads. And you got some nice detail for the tiny little Carnotaur arms that it has. And the body is where a lot of the detail goes to. You can see all of these awesome looking feather-like sculpted scales, which I will get to more about this later on when I get to comparisons, because I have a lot to say about the detail that Mattel added on the top of the back of this dinosaur. But yeah, you can just see how excellently sculpted it looks. It looks really realistic. And you got some more of that nice giant pebble-like scales on the legs right there. And you can see some more tiny scales and some awesome muscle definition. Sorry. And the feet look really nice, sculpted very well. Yeah, and you can see some more scale work underneath the body. So this thing is just filled with awesome detail. Like, I can't get over to how awesome it looks. And it's just going to be like the same thing on the other side. All that amazing detail. And it feels really nice too. It feels realistic and scaly. And you can see the other leg here. Really nice. Really nice detail. Good job, Mattel. And here's that awesome head again. And now colors, I really like this darker bluish color with that white stripe and then the yellowish body, and then you got the lighter color underneath the jaw, and the eyes painted. But I thought they would have like this weird, like this turquoise blue around the eye, like on the renders. I guess they didn't add that in the toy. And yes, there's another look of the awesome thick head that this guy has. And I will say, the paint does not go all the way on the body, which is a little disappointing. It is kind of a negative about this figure. This one does not have a lot of paint added to it. It's more like the front half of the figure itself. But it works for what it is. Like, it looks good, but then you kind of think about, it's not all the way there. Articulation-wise, the arms can go all the way around, and they can pivot in and out. Would have been fine if these arms did not move, considering these guys had really tiny arms. And I like to pull them back like that to make it a little bit more accurate. It's just a cool little thing. And then the legs can kind of move back and forth. They make like this weird clicking noise. So I'm not sure if they're really supposed to move or not. Can't tell. And you can kind of move it up too, if you wanted. But they won't go down. I don't want to force it either. So, and then the tail can move, which is kind of useless. I never need to use that unless I'm trying to position it back. And then here's the scan code that these new figures have. So here's that if you need it. If you need it. I'm sure you guys have already gotten it from other videos. So let's take a look at the sounds. So the sounds are obviously sounds reused from the Carnotaurus roars from the Jurassic World movies, but it works because it's an abelisaur. So let's take a look at some size comparisons here. Here we have it next to Owen. The size looks really nice. I thought Skorpiovenator was larger. Like, it was a fairly large abelisaur in South America, and I'm not sure if I'm mistaking it for something else, but I thought it was a little bit bigger, especially when you go to the Prehistoric Wildlife website. They kind of portrayed it bigger in there. So I'm not sure how really big it was. But, it works for what it is. I just thought it was a little bit bigger. Next up, we have another abelisaur from the Jurassic toy line from Mattel, and it is the famous Carnotaurus from the movies itself. And they look really nice together. And as you can see, Carnotaurus is definitely larger than the Skorpiovenator. Next up, we have Majungasaurus, which is another awesome looking abelisaur from Mattel. And they look really nice. And Majungasaurus is definitely smaller than Skorpiovenator. I think it's just the way it is actually built that makes it look small. Like, here it is compared to Owen again. So the thing, they're fairly around the same size. I think it's just Majungasaurus is built different. And so here is all of Mattel's abelisaurs so far together. And they look really nice together. And actually, now that I'm starting to think of it, Majungasaurus really is kind of small. And you can see that mine does have kind of faulty legs. That's just the way it was when I bought it. So I had to kind of lean it against the Skorpiovenator for it to stand. But yeah, Majungasaurus is the smallest and Carnotaurus is the biggest. But I think they look really nice together. The colors kind of work, in my opinion. It's just such a cool looking trio right here. Really nice. And then this brings up to my last thing before we end this video, and that is, like, the abelisaur. Abelisaurs are famous to have, are famous because of like the large pebble-like bumps that they have on their backs. So what I'm trying to say is that if you look at the Carnotaurus, you can see it has all these rows of smaller bumps and spikes, osteoderms, however you want to call them, which is famous for Carnotaurus in general, but also abelisaurs. And if we look at Majungasaurus here, it also has those same rows of bumps on its back. Now, the reason why I brought this up is because Skorpiovenator is slightly different, which is something I kind of want to discuss. So if we look at the back of Skorpiovenator, it does not have those rows of small bumps. It has like these large feather-like looking scales that overlap, which is a cool design. Don't get me wrong. It's a really awesome design. And, you know, it may not be fairly 100% accurate, but these are Jurassic Park toys. You know, they don't need to be super accurate. They're awesome the way they are. But just the design choice that Mattel came up with for this abelisaur itself is just unique and interesting. And I think that's something that I like, is one of the reasons why I like this figure so much. So guys, that's just about to wrap it up for this review. This is definitely a video that I made a little bit ago, or like a couple of days ago, so I do apologize that I'm posting this now when I had like all that stuff from Target that I bought. So just get through this review. I wanted to put this out there before I moved on to the other things that I got. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review of the Skorpiovenator from Mattel. And I hope to see you guys again for the next review where we start taking a look at my Target finds.